Majority. Mr. Speaker, I also stand under Standing Order 90 and had actually consulted you about this. And Mr. Speaker, if you look at the judgment of that court, the court actually infer that because of the position you hold as Speaker and also as Chairman of your party, Mr. Speaker, it is not as party leader of your party. Mr. Speaker, it is not possible for you to be fair. You are going to be conflicted when you are conducting the matters of this House. Mr. Speaker, I therefore humbly request you to step down and mandate Honorable Gladys Boschole to take over in discharging the functions as the Speaker because of your conflict of interest.
Mtazamaji, jambo la kufurahisha ni ya kwamba jinsi ambavyo koti iliamua kuwa Azimio la moja ndio wengi kwenye bunge. Tulikuwa tunasubiri tu kuona siku ya leo wakati ambapo wabunge walikuwa wanarejea pale bungeni. Tuone kwamba uamuzi itakuwaje ama itakuwa nini itaamuliwa haswa kutokana na uamuzi wa koti. Baada ya koti kuamua kwamba Azimio la moja ndio wengi wa bunge na Kenya Kwanza government, wale wa Kenya Kwanza ndio wachache. So wengi wa bunge walikuwa Azimio la moja na wachache walikuwa watu wa Kenya Kwanza. Sasa leo kitu ambacho kimenifurahisha sana ni ya kwamba Kimani Ichung'wah ambaye hapo awali alikuwa kiongozi wa wengi kwenye bunge amekosa kuhudhuria, amekosa kwenda bungeni leo. Siku ya kwanza tangia koti iamue ya kwamba wao ni wachache. Na sasa hivi yeye ndiye kiongozi wa wachache kwenye bunge. Yaani ameenda kuchukua ile nafasi ambayo Junet Mohamed alikuwa pale awali. Alafu Silvanus Osoro pia anachukua nafasi ambayo Millie Odhiambo alikuwa pale kama kiongozi wa wachache. Ushaelewa? Sasa hivi mambo yamebadilika. Junet Mohamed ndiye kiongozi wa wengi kwenye bunge, alafu Kimani Ichung'wah ambaye leo hivi hajahudhuria, amekosa. Yaani hajaonekana. Ushaelewa? Kimani Ichung'wah hajaonekana mahali popote. Watu walikuwa wanatarajia kwamba pengine atahudhuria lakini hajahudhuria. Millie Odhiambo anamwambia Wetangula speaker ya kwamba koti iliamua kwamba uwezi ukafanya kazi mara mbili. Uwezi ukajigawa mara mbili. So jambo ambalo utalifanya ni rahisi sana. Wewe toka kwenye kiti chako kuwa kama speaker, uketi chini, alafu umwachie Boschole nafasi aendelee kwa sababu yeye ndiye naibu wako. Tuwezi tukafanya kazi hivi.
Millie Odhiambo, take the floor. Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, I rise under Standing Order 19A and 20. Mr. Speaker.
Hold on, Millie. Honorable members, can we hear Millie Odhiambo? Order, Wanjala. Order. 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 Honorable Gertrude Mbeyu and those who are conducting themselves like you, Honorable Mawathe, the excitement does not preclude the application of standing orders. And if I see you getting rowed again, I'll request you to leave the chamber. Millie Odhiambo. Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand under Standing Order 19A and Standing Order 20. Mr. Speaker, and in furtherance of a recent decision by the High Court HTC number E202 of 2023, Kenneth Njagi Njiru and 11 others versus the National Assembly of Kenya and others. Mr. Speaker, I will not go to the demerits and merits of that matter. I will go to what the court concluded, which is that the Azimio side is the majority. And based on that, Mr. Speaker, again, because I've said I'm not going to the merits and demerits of that decision, Mr. Speaker, I want to just indicate that I have therefore, as the majority party whip of Azimio, today handed over to your office a copy of that decision of the High Court with a letter that we are giving you according to the standing orders, our majority leader as Honorable Junet Mohammed and Honorable Robert Mbui. Mr. Speaker, following the standing orders, Honorable Junet will thereafter then communicate me officially as the minority whip, going by what the standing orders, but a majority whip. Majority. Mr. Speaker, I also stand under Standing Order 90 and had actually consulted you about this. And Mr. Speaker, if you look at the judgment of that court, the court actually infer that because of the position you hold as Speaker and also as Chairman of your party, Mr. Speaker, it is not as party leader of your party. Mr. Speaker, it is not possible for you to be fair. You are going to be conflicted when you are conducting the matters of this House. Mr. Speaker, I therefore humbly request you to step down and mandate Honorable Gladys Boschole to take over in discharging the functions as the Speaker because of your conflict of interest. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Order.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in concluding, Mr. Speaker, because I said I'm not going to go to the merits and demerits of the matter, in concluding, I want to urge that as a parliament, we need to obey court rulings and decisions, even when we don't agree with them. And Mr. Speaker, I also just want to indicate that you can see my two colleagues are standing next to me. My advice to them in future is to follow a philosophy from my community which says, Telo Ikao, Telo Kumingato. So next time they should do what Honorable Ruku did. Jump if you have to, but take your position the way Honorable Millie has done.
Is that part of your point of order?
No. Mr. Speaker, I said as an obiter. And Mr. Speaker, I would also just want to say, very finally, also as an obiter, Mr. Speaker, people are also talking about broad-based. Again, I'm very careful. I'm saying this as an obiter. It's not my substantive argument. Mr. Speaker, people talk of broad-based. Yeah, and even when you look at the decisions of the arguments of the court, they keep making reference to the de jure and the de facto. And many things may have changed over time. And Mr. Speaker, I'd want to say that actually if you look at this side of the House today, we are seeing broad, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if we want to see good faith, we want to see if it is also based. It is broad. But based, whether it is based will depend on the decision going forward. Otherwise, we will be told by the court it is hot air, this broad base is hot air, wild goose chase, and all those other things, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Na nafurahia sana. Kitu ambacho inanifurahisha ni jinsi ambavyo yani the reaction. Alafu ukienda pale mpaka kule kwenye seneti pia nimeona wengi kwa bunge, wengi kwenye kule seneti ni Azimio la moja. So tayari watu kama kina Edwin Sifuna washachukua nafasi yao kama wengi kwenye bunge la kwenye seneti pale. Ingawaje Eboni Alwale alikuwa anapiga shamra hapa, anasema hapa na pale, anasema kwamba Kenya tunaongozwa na social media. Kitu ambacho si kweli. Ukweli utabaki kuwa kweli na uongo utabaki kuwa uongo. Hakuna jinsi ambavyo utasema kwamba hii si ukweli, na koti yenyewe ilidhibitisha ya kwamba haya mambo ambayo yanafanyika sasa hivi yanapaswa kufanyika.
Mr. Speaker, first I want to say today that I am privileged to speak from the seat of the majority leader. Because Mr. Speaker, even when I sat on the seat, it is very warm, Mr. Speaker, unlike mine, which was very cold, Mr. Speaker. I didn't know the seats of Parliament have different warmth, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, I don't foresee myself leaving this seat anytime soon. I don't see myself leaving this one anytime.
Dau niambie maoni yako kwenye sehemu ya maoni. Wewe je, unafikiria kwamba Kimani Ichung'wah yuko wapi? Na ni kwa nini amekosa kuhudhuria mkutano wa kwanza kwenye bunge tangia koti ya muya kwamba wao ndio wachache kwenye bunge la taifa letu la Kenya. Naomba uniambie maoni yako kwenye sehemu ya maoni, na pia usahau kufinya subscribe button, kubonyeza alama ya subscription ili wakati wote kuna ujumbe ambao nimeweka inakuwa virahisi nawe kwako pia kuupata. Ningependa tukutane kwenye video ambayo inafuata ikiwezekana. Nimekuwa wako Boniface Owino, Bingo.
Millie Odhiambo has raised 2 points. One I'll dispose of very quickly, and the other I will allow the House some latitude. As to whether the Speaker, yours truly, should preside over these proceedings or not, I'll dispose it of as follows. 1, there's no motion before the House about the Speaker. Number 2, I am a senior lawyer in this country, and I'm your senior Millie Odhiambo. I have read that judgment with a tooth comb, and there's nowhere it requires the Speaker to do what you are saying. More particularly, the final findings of that judgment, which as a distinguished learned friend, we had an opportunity to read through together today. That judgment does not cast aspersions on the Speaker presiding on such proceedings. Number three, in similar situations, in the 10th Parliament, a motion was brought to this House by the then member for Kibwezi, the Honorable Patrick Musimba, to discuss the conduct and the possible vacation of office by Speaker Muturi as he then was. Speaker Muturi presided over the debate and the vote was taken and the motion went the way it did. Number 4, in the 7th Parliament, when I was a fresher in this House, the Honorable James Orengo, or one of the then Ford Kenya members, brought a motion to discuss the conduct and character of the then Speaker, Francis Xavier Kausai Olekaparo. Kausai Olekaparo presided over the proceedings. The motion was debated and put to a vote, and it went the way it did. I'm sure you know that neither Muturi nor Kaparo left office on the basis of any motion. Number 5, you as truly as your Speaker does not debate, does not vote. I hold a position of honor to preside over your proceedings. Anybody who wants to say anything about this judgment, I'll give you an opportunity. And it's finally going to be yours truly to give you a ruling on the matter. It must also be made very clear as we listen to each other that neither the court nor any authority outside this chamber, and senior lawyers like Otiendo Molo should know this, neither the court nor any other authority outside this chamber can make declarations that affect the conduct of business here except yourselves by voting and by the Speaker giving you rulings.